bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Hi everyone, Mark Curtis with another edition of Comcast Newsmakers. We're talking healthcare today, and we have a returning guest. Our friend Dr. Len Saputo has a new book out, which is called A Return to Healing, and he is a frequent guest on Comcast Newsmakers, so we welcome back Dr. Saputo. Good to see you here again today.
Thanks, Mark.
We have a lot to talk about in 5 minutes. I don't think we'll solve the entire healthcare industry in that time, but A Return to Healing, I think, is an interesting title for your book because, first of all, you suggest there's a lot of things people can do themselves outside of the healthcare system, outside of what the government's trying to do. They can do themselves to improve their healthcare.
Absolutely. The problem that we have is that we really depend on a sick care system. We expect to get sick, then we expect to see our doctor, we expect to get some kind of treatment for it, and it causes all kinds of problems. We can't afford the system anymore, it's not safe, and a lot of us are too sick. But we can take responsibility for our health. We can do the things that make a big difference, like a healthy diet and exercise and stress reduction, sleep, and having a meaningful purpose in our life. If we did all those things and did them well, we'd cut the cost of healthcare by 80%.
Is part of the problem that we look outside of ourselves? I mean, we're obviously having the current debate in Washington, D.C. over healthcare reform, so we're expecting Congress to fix it. Or we get sick, we go to the doctor and say, well, give me a pill to make me feel better. And so we're dependent on people outside of ourselves when, you know, if we did things like quit smoking or lose 20 pounds
Sure.
or exercise every day, those are things we can do ourselves that usually
They're
are free
simple.
too.
Yeah, they're simple, they're free, they work. I mean, they're as effective as any kind of health care that you can look for, and they'll give you high dividends. I mean, you have a quality of life that's much better, and you won't be sick near as often.
At the same time, there is the need to incorporate medical professionals into what we do. I mean, what do you suggest in terms of regular checkups or annual physicals or something to complement the things we can do ourselves?
I think those are important because you do want to see your doctor from time to time, particularly when you're older, but the things that you can do yourself are really where the action is. And that's what we have to do, is develop some programs at the local and national level that are centered around eating a healthy diet. For example, if we just got the high fructose corn syrup out, we got the trans fats out, and we got more fiber in the diet, that would do a lot. Okay. If we had exercise programs as well, that would be fantastic.
Let's talk about politics. I mean, you can't talk about healthcare. There's a bill currently going through Congress. I think it's probably got an uphill fight. You support going to a single-payer health insurance system, do you not? And if so, what's the advantage of that in your mind?
Well, first of all, we're getting ripped off by the insurance companies. They're taking 30 cents of every dollar, and they're putting that into profits and into overhead. 70% is going to actually healthcare services. So we need to find a system that saves a lot of that money. If we had a single-payer system and the government ran it, we'd be under 5%. Yeah. So we need to take the responsibility for healthcare at the national level, and everybody deserves healthcare. If it's single-payer or if it's some combination, doesn't make a big difference to me. But I think we have to have healthcare that's centered on wellness, not just on people who are sick.
But there are fears out there. People say, I want to go to my own doctor. I want to have a relationship with that doctor. I don't want the government telling me when I can get tested, not tested, or telling me I've got to go see a different doctor. So a lot of people are, while they recognize the need for healthcare reform, are uncomfortable with some of the possibilities out there.
I'm uncomfortable with that too. I think you should have your own doctor, and I think it's possible to do that. I think if we had a single-payer system, we're still going to have a system where there's insurance coverage beyond that. Because what's going to happen is we're going to insure 45 million more people who have no insurance, another 100 million people that are underinsured, and we're going to have to make cuts in some of the services that we give. So you're going to wind up with something like Medi-Cal for everybody. People who have any kind of money at all are going to want to do something to have an insurance of their own besides single payer.
Well, it's a fascinating issue. It's not going to be solved in a day or a 5-minute TV show, but it's good to get these ideas on the table. Again, Dr. Len Saputo, in your new book, A Return to Healing, I want to show that again. This is always a fascinating topic to talk about, Dr. Saputo. Thanks for being here on Comcast Newsmakers. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you for joining us on Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Mark Curtis. Please join us again next time.